All right.
Apparently my hill to die on. There's no ducks in the feed the ducks.
Epilogues?
Yes,
Yeah.
epilogues.
Okay. Who would like to go first?
Ooh, sorry about that. I can go first.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But I was sneezing.
It's like, what is that face he's making?
Woo! I think James is going to make a new home here with the Hanger people.
Mhm.
Kind of help them figure out. I feel like they're in the same boat as James. He can't go back and be an Imagineer. That whole life is busted, broken. They've got to find a new way to be too, right? They've got to find new traditions. So my thought is I can help where I can, get in where I fit, and even if it's short term, right? And now I'm doing something for the next X amount of cycles of time with these folks.
I like that.
And scavenging whatever Imagineer gear we can.
Yes.
That's, left around here now.
Nice. Is there like a last image we see of James to like represent that? Like what would it look like?
Yeah, I think through Janet, I think we see him kind of mentoring Riff Raff and the Hoverboard Gang, right?
Oh, I love that.
Right. Making them a little less gang and maybe a little more patrol, maybe scouts, something more utilitarian for the Hanger people.
Nice.
I think Anita does look for somewhere a little less humid because humidity and electricity, just bad things, things travel further than they're meant to be, and you always wake up kind of feeling a little weird. Yeah, I think she like rigs up one of the hoverboards to like do a little more long term, or either that or she figures out how to like power it herself to get a little further away.
Has she heard of the prosperous malls of New Jersey? They're
She has heard tales of the prosperous malls of New Jersey.
I hear there's some powers that be that are trying to knock those malls down.
How dare they?
Perhaps we should stop them.
The legendary Paramus.
Oh God, I'm trying to think of what kind of like horrible puns for critters there'd be up in New Jersey. I mean, clearly there's Jersey devils of some sort.
Yes.
And oh, that's awkward.
I think Buck goes back and like long term, like taking his time, sort of befriends and calms Big Gulp.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
then
I like that.
disappears deep into the Florida swamps and marshes. Just the experience with the Imagineers was enough to prove to him that he just needed to get away from all that civilization stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I think Aberbot like sets his stovetop pipe hat and beard aside, and talks to people with his own face, and I don't know, maybe like the last thing we see is him kind of gathering up other presidential robots, and trying to explain to them that they're not the presidents. They were pretending to be the presidents, like, kind of seeing him like going up to like Reagan bot and being like, no. No, you don't have to do that. It's okay. Oh, wow. Good. Okay. And
Nice.
something like that. Becoming their own person a little bit.
Cool.
Dropping some of the Abraham Lincoln quotes.
But does he pull in other presidents' quotes? There's a question.
Definitely he does, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Can't put it all aside, but yeah.
A little at a time.
Yep. Cool.
Great. Well, thanks for playing. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you for running. Something about the rhythm of it reminds me a little bit of Misspent Youth, in that you're kind of like getting us to roll because that's like you kind of like narrate until one of us is like, no, I got to do something. Like there's like something similar in the rhythm. Not necessarily like the dice work in a very different way,
Right.
but I don't know. There's something similar in the vibe of it. Of you describing terrible things until one of us is like, no, wait.
No.
I have to smash that. Which is cool. I think it's fun. No. I like that vibe. It's cool.
On the other side of the table, I like that approach. Because I'm always curious how far, right, before somebody says, "Oh no, that's too much," right? Right.
Yeah, different tables will have different points for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And Zoom is amazing. I wish we had gotten to use Zoom a little more. I feel like we saw it in the first game. Vroom.
Yeah. Vroom.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, Vroom was really cool. Is that the only sort of like subsystem?
Yes. So action scenes. We kind of did an action scene. That's kind of a sort of a loose system for people taking turns. Towards the end there, this last session, we were just kind of going with narrative flow, which was fine. And then Broom sits on top of the action scene. If you want to have sort of relative, like relational kind of vehicle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for. Oh, that was probably under this folder. Looking for my drawing. There it is. Okay. Yeah, let me cop that up. If anybody listening wants to see what that looks like. This is just my my crude Google drawing. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that are kind of hooked into this. So I don't know if you noticed with wheels, you have the ability to gain ground or cost ground, and that lets you shift position from. So if you're trailing, you could move up to pacing, or if you're the point vehicle and you cost people ground, you can force vehicles to fall behind until they fall into the dust. So it's sort of represents you sort of jockeying for position and sort of Mad Maxian kind of Fury Road sort of thing, but
right.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of so abstracted, you can use this for anything. You can use it for hoverboards, you can use it for helicopters, speedboats, submarines, biplanes, like pretty much anything. You can create compelling scenes. At least that's what I found.
Nice. I think the last game I saw where they used kind of a display like this for vehicles, I think it was Star Wars.
Like the old West End.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought it was kind of novel and neat then too. I like that idea
Mm-hmm.
of everything happening around the vehicle we're in, without having to map and chase everything down. Right? It's all relative to where we are right now, and that was very nice. That was neat. So
Right.
I like that. That was nice.
Yeah. I think it's kind of the shift from between that and this is that it doesn't necessarily have to be the players that are kind of the focal point. It could be something else. So
Right.
So if the rebels are chasing somebody, then the focal point is the thing they're chasing, rather than everything just being relevant. So I guess if you've got everybody in the Millennium Falcon, it makes sense to have things relative to that. If you've got people that are in different vehicles, then
Right.
that makes it a little more complicated.
And that did get players.
Yeah, that was
Right. If I want my own ship, I don't want to be in a Falcon.
Exactly. Everyone wants to have their own ship.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about the system so far, Michael?
Well, I really like the stickers. Obviously, the stickers are pretty cool. So, as far as subsystems, that would be the other thing that stands out. So when you do things for skill, you get achievements you can mark off, just like game console Chivos. And if you do enough of those, then you get to add a badge. So you get to put a sticker on your character sheet. I really like how it's like a lot of sort of small dopamine rewards. So that's something I really like about blades in the dark. So you're always marking off boxes until they fill up, and then you get a cool reward.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of wanted to do some of that with this too.
Yeah, I really love the move achievements. Like even before the stickers, like just the individual like pips, and it also helps like inspire you a bit because you can look at these and be like, oh, this is a thing I can do with this skill or whatever.
Yes, absolutely.
To drive what you might want to do or how you want to play, which I thought I really dig that.
Yeah, that's me as a designer, not so subtly saying these are the things I want you to do as rebels.
It's effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice. It's very helpful for players to like. Oh yeah, this is the thing I want you to do with this thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's carrot. It's carrot instead of stick.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I actually kind of like it the other way too because it's clear, right?
Right.
There were at least two situations where I didn't have the right dice for the thing I said I wanted to do, but I clearly, when I'm trying to convince or intimidate somebody, that's sway, and
right.
I just did. My numbers aren't there, but that's what I narrated, and so I don't feel mad about that. In that case, in my head, I just got to stay out of those situations. But here, it is pretty clear what dice I'm picking up to make this happen, and I like when it's clear like that.
Yeah. Well, the way the rules are written, you're allowed to be creative with what you use. So, like if you're trying to talk to, like, let's say you're playing a scientist and you're trying to explain something technical to another scientist, you could be like, well, I'll just use science to do that. So I'm going to use my knowledge of science to convince this other scientist to do what I want them to do, rather than just relying strictly on sway. If sway isn't your strong suit. But the trade-off is that under Sway, you have all these extra outcomes that you can get. So you can gain a groupie from that, which gives you like an extra person that can help you out and do things. You can gain a favor. There's a bunch of things that are sort of tied into it socially. So you're strongly incentivized to use Sway for social things, but you can always still just you do it can be whatever it is, whatever your narrative goal is.
Right.
So there's flexibility there.
Nice.
What's the legacy thing?
Oh yeah, that's that actually has been re-engineered. So that was from a previous version. So that's gone now. So apologies. Oh. That's still in there. I think the latest character sheets that are out on itch no longer have that.
Gotcha.
So legacy is legacy design. I forgot to for your calling, you've got I don't think we really engaged much with this since we really only played for about 6 hours or so. But for your calling, you have what's called a path, and those are sort of like major landmarks. So like for instance, if you're playing Hot Shot, they're just kind of like a sort of fighter kind of character. If you take out a badass, then you get to get 1 mark on your path. And if you complete your path, then you're allowed to choose a new calling. And originally you were going to gain an extra legacy ability from your old calling, and that would go where that is now. But I kind of simplified it now so that when you gain a new calling, you just get to choose a skill to improve that's related to your new calling. And then you can choose whether or not you want to keep one of your old abilities and mix and match that with one of the abilities from the new calling.
Gotcha.
So you can. I like playing multi-class characters, so I've designed a game that strongly encourages you to multi-class. But you can also just choose to just get a free mark on an achievement for one of your skills rather than marking on your path when you do something for your path. So you if you want to just be a turbo ace or a bookworm for your entire run of the game, you can just stick to your calling. You don't have to do the weird multi-class stuff.
Nice. Were there parts of the game we didn't get to see? We didn't get to touch?
Well, like we said, like the paths, characters also have drives. So we put those together. I think we talked about those when we made characters.
Mm-hmm.
But if we'd had a little more time to kind of explore our rebels, we could have potentially engaged with that too. So that system it's a pretty simple system. So if you're through the course of the story, you answer the question that is your drive. So I think, for instance, for James S5, the question was, I think it was, when will the killing stop or something like that?
Yeah,
right?
when will the killing stop?
So if you're able to kind of find a satisfying answer to that in the story, then you get to choose a skill that kind of fits with what happened, and you get to increase that by a die size, and then you just choose a new question, and that becomes kind of your new personal drive.
Okay.
So that way, in addition to having kind of like the group goal kind of stuff, you also have room to kind of explore who your character is. Like Jed, a lot of what you did with Aberbot fits really well with the kind of play that I'm looking for with drives.
Got it. Interesting. And the Mother Earth talking to us somehow, I don't know why, but it reminded me of the movie The Warriors, where they're going through New York City and the DJ is kind of like,
yes,
nice, yes,
like
100%. That is 100% the inspiration for that. And there's also a DJ in the John Carpenter film The Fog.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I really love the idea. I really love the texture that adds, especially because, like most people just listen to their music streaming. They don't. There isn't a DJ. Like you don't have that same disembodied person or narrator
Right.
kind of feeling. So it helps kind of add a little bit to sort of the retro-y-ness of the setting.
Yep.
But you're free to kind of interpret it however you want. So it could be like a recording, like the recording on Lost, the TV show, like the numbers that get read out. So you could just have your voice be that, or just like a more straightforward DJ, or the electromagnetic field of Mother Earth. Sure, it's open for interpretation.
Interesting. Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Any like fave moments from playtesting that stand out?
Yeah. This was actually pretty mind-blowing. So I had a friend, Jason Cox, that decided to play a rockabilly animatronic bear.
That's amazing.
And between sessions, he would compose entire rockabilly kind of like parody songs.
Nice.
And then sing them in just the most beautiful rockabilly voice. Like, he's got an amazing singing voice. I don't pretty much it's like it was jaw dropping for everyone in the game. But
That's fantastic.
Awesome.
That was another group that was also they set the game in Florida, and they made the mouse the villain.
What? I'm just saying, there's something about the mouse that kind of lends itself to being a villain. If they didn't want to have that image, they wouldn't have made some of the choices they've made.
There's something there. There really is something there. That game was really cool. We had Cyber Whales.
Nice.
Whitney DeLoglio, she was in that game. She played a half Nautilus Moreau that could like sing and talk to these like chiptune whales. And she ended up befriending one and used it to take out a tanker that the Disney folks were controlling. I think it was Disney Cruises was the survivor for that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Neat. Yeah, it's fun. The pre-game setting creation is interesting too. I feel like that it seemed like the steps were pretty well trod by the time we got to it. In a good way, like in a like
good.
This is how you make a setting. Is it feeling like it's doing what you want it to do to you? Like, is it?
Yeah, I think so. I worried a little bit that it's kind of a fine line between like spending way too much time building setting and not answering enough questions. And I tried to kind of settle on a point where you have a good start and then you can fill in details as you go, so you aren't spending too much time. So you're not like coming up with stats for what the bad guys are, or drawing a full complete map, or there's not a bunch of tables to reference to try and this could be a lot more detailed in that regard, but I tried to focus more on just making it a conversation for the group, and then everyone's kind of on the same page for the story they're telling.
Cool.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of grabbiness to that first session where we were building out the setting, and it moved pretty. It was pretty fluid, so I enjoyed that part too.
Cool.
That was nice.
Yeah, definitely. Nice. Anything else? Should we wrap it up? Congrats on the Kickstarter funding and you getting to get stickers out into the gaming world and get this thing out there.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, for sure, for sure.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really grateful to all my backers. So they made it possible. So thanks to them.
Awesome. And your game company has the word pup in it. Is there a dog involved? Is there what? Wait a minute. I feel like
Yes.
I've buried the lead here.
Time for the dog
Oh.
snacks.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the dog that was barking earlier. I have a corgi. Her name is Genius.
Nice.
Nice.
So she's sort of the inspiration for our branding.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. I would have felt irresponsible if I didn't ask about that. So,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Sure.
That's fair.
I've been thinking about that for like 6 weeks because I've been like, I didn't ask about the damn dog again. It's like the only thing I had on my task list during this game to do is to do that, and I did not do it. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Got that done.
Yeah.
Check.
Great. One of these days, I'm actually going to make a game that has corgis in it, but that's still on my to-do list.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
You can call it bubble butts or something. You know?
Yes.
Oh, so okay, never mind. I'm catching up on the chat. Thank you, Jeremiah, for dropping the link to the Kickstarter in the chat.
Yep.
We had someone ask.
Oh, great.
Nice. Cool. And how much more time do you have on the Kickstarter?
It's going to run till October 28th.
Okay.
That.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks for running this for us. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate you doing this. And let's go around the horn and say goodnight. We'll start with Judd.
All right.
Talk about the Dreaming Dragons.
Yeah. I you can find me at a podcast called Daydreaming About Dragons. You can find me at my blog, Githyanki Diaspora. And if you put either of those terms, you'll get to me eventually. And good luck on your journey. I'll see you there. Yeah, definitely. And from there, you can connect to my social media stuff, and I'm sure you'll figure it out. If you are listening to this, that's fine.
I've been reading your blog for the last few weeks. I'm hooked.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. That's very kind. I think, it feels more like a compulsion. Like I look at the stats and I'm like, who am I kidding? I would be writing this if no one read it. Like
That's right. I would still be writing it.
I don't know that I would stop. I think I would feel sad when I wrote it, but I think I'd be like, oh my God, I can't stop. But thank you for reading. I appreciate it.
What about you, Misha?
You just got to get it out of your head. Hi, I'm Misha B. You can find me on Twitter at Black Girl Gameworks. BG Gameworks on Twitter or blackgirlgameworks.com.
Nice.
And soon at Big Bad Con.
Yes, I will be there too. Big Bad Con.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yes. Jeremiah.
I will also be a Big Bad Con.
Dang. No, I'm jealous. I was going to be jealous anyway, but
I think this is the first con I've gone to since all this started. So
yeah. I've gone to our little local con a couple times, so kind of easing my way in.
That's right. I think I had some other stuff that kept me from cons I had planned this year, but this will be the first big con out and away from Missouri, so I'm looking forward to it. I'll be running Twilight 2000 out there at Big Bad Con. Cool. So, man, I've got I don't even know 40 some odd game sessions of Twilight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was not even planned that way. It's just that's a whole nother story. But there's a lot of energy in it, and we're just riding it out. I don't know. I was going to say maybe we were kind of wrapping up on maybe the last 4, 5, 6, 8 sessions or so. But Free League just dropped a brand new supplement for the game, which is easily another 30, 40 sessions or so. So I don't even know. It's probably one of the most fun, engaging games I've got going on right now, Saturday mornings. So I'm sure the people have something to do with that too. So I don't think it's all the game. So when I get asked, tabletop, Jeremiah and I are kind of in the same town. There's a game store we go to, and I get asked a lot when I go out there. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just the game. So don't pick it up thinking you're going to get 30 sessions because Jay said so, right? It may be also who you're playing with. I don't know. So,
of course it is.
yeah. So,
it's a weird chemistry. Like, it's a weird what makes like a game. Like, there are good games.
Right.
I feel like I have more good games than bad games, and very, very seldom do I have like just a bad session. But like something like that where it just picks up steam and becomes dozens and dozens of sessions is like, yeah, it's something, I don't know. You can't quite control. You can just kind of like keep skillfully swinging and hope you get there. Like,
right.
It's just, yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird thing. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I think the players in the game, it's for players. I think they recognize the same thing. And so I think we're all at this point trying to not break the chain and have fun. And when it ceases being fun, I think we have enough honesty that we'll say that and we'll call it.
Nice.
But it's not, I don't know that we're close. So,
yeah.
But
also, like running a game about like post-apocalyptic violence in Europe, especially Eastern Europe, and within a week of you starting that game, Ukraine was invaded.
Yeah.
Is intense.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I love what you wrote about that. You wrote a bit about that on Play Fearless, and it's one of my favorite things that you or anyone has written. It's really good about gaming this year. It was really excellent.
Thank you.
Are there a lot of people at the table with military experience?
One, I think.
Okay.
One with military experience. The others have like civil or social type backgrounds, right?
Okay.
Okay. And there was a little bit of conversation when Ukraine broke out in the war that we, and it wasn't, should we continue playing this? Yeah. This is the hard conversation I have with folks adjacent or in gaming. They'll say, how can you be playing that? I could never. And I'm like, it's because the game isn't about that, right?
Yeah.
I see the box, I see the wrappings, and I see the premise, but when you start playing, it's a survival sandbox game.
Right.
And it's not necessarily about, it is unfortunate that the two are overlapping right now, right?
Right.
And I get folks who, it's too close, I feel it, and I want to walk away. I would never judge anybody over that.
That's of course.
Thing, right?
Of course.
But I also say we're still in because our game is more personal, and it's not about those trappings. It's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like I had to write that post. I would feel, I don't know, weird if I didn't say anything, or if I tried to pretend that it wasn't overlapping in a big way. So yeah.
Have you taken any details like that you've seen from headlines, like weird things spray painted on ruined tanks or anything?
No. So what I've done was, I think, so we're in that weird space like Tales from the Loop, right? I feel like the folks who really enjoy that are enjoying their trip back to the 80s, early 90s, and they bring a lot of that stuff, right? I think for us, right, because this war in Twilight 2000 happens in 2000. And so I think a lot of it for us is going back to, well, what would we have had in the year 2000? Right? And so I think a lot of the space is filled in with things like that. That's where I have a post with the Twinkies, right? We found a group of folks. They had these rations. We're rolling on some tables. We're trying to figure out, rather than say it's 14 days worth of rations, what might it be? And doing some quick math, Twinkies fit the bill, right? So we got 14 days worth of Twinkies, right? And
and just circling back to like Rebel Wastes, I feel like we talked about this a little bit too. Like, Michael, have you had things where you've made apocalypses and then, I don't know, like the real world slipped in ways that were unexpected? Or I feel like we chatted. I bubbled over and had to talk about it a little bit during the game, but like we said we would talk about it later, and then kind of haven't yet. Have you had any interesting, I don't know, real world intersections with with this kind of gonzo apocalypse?
Yeah, well, I hope this isn't too much of a downer, but I kind of got everything sort of finished for a release of the game. So I was looking to do that in 2021, and like getting sort of like the finalized rules and the cover together for PDF. The original cover had an American flag on it, and I had everything ready to go. And then January 6th happened, and I was like, I don't know if I can I feel like the American flag is a really loaded symbol now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that is no longer on the cover of the flag. It seemed kind of kitschy in the context.
Right.
And just like there's a lot of little things that, in terms of, and even just like having sort of contemporary firearms in like gear tables.
Yeah.
I thought a lot about that. Like, is this too much? Is this too close to sort of the manifestation of real world violence? Should it be more cartoony?
Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. No, that wasn't a downer. That's that weird space, right?
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Everything's good. There's nothing wrong with any of that. And then in the course of a day, it has different meaning, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The meaning's changed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never look at the OK symbol the same again. It's like stupid shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely. I definitely. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do people have to ruin things?
Yeah, I remember looking at a friend of mine, a former friend of mine. We've had a falling out since, at like his son's birthday party, and there was like this smug little shit kid giving the OK symbol, right? And he knew what he was doing. And I was like, why is no one laying a hand on that child while they're taking pictures? Like, what is going on? And I am not for laying hands on children, but there was just like, I was like, what? Why are these pictures
Why isn't anybody
online?
saying anything?
Right.
Yeah.
Why is this okay?
Yeah, it was just terrible. So anyway, I think I think that's happening a lot in the gaming world, and I think I wonder how many campaigns about plagues in the past 3 years have just folded because they were like, nope.
Yeah.
So, personal story. So we, a small group of us were playing Pandemic Legacy back in 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were joking about, President Trump's going to cut the funding. Ha, ha, ha. So we stopped playing that game for a good 2 years. And then we finished it. And then we started season 2. And then 2020 happened.
Right.
So now we're trying to figure out, okay, so do we have to finish season 2 and start season 0 to make the world go back to normal? Or will that just break everything?
Did you Jumanji the whole damn world? Did you?
I'm not sure. This is a legitimate question we've had talking to each other for like 2 years now. Do we have to would we be responsible for not doing it? Or should we do it?
That's so funny.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird fucking hobby. Like, we create these vocabularies and contexts out of the pieces that are around in our lives and brains and media. And so, of course, when meanings change drastically, like, all that changes, right? It's just kind of fascinating. Like, someone smarter than me is writing really cool papers about this now.
Somebody.
I actually heard stuff about race and D&D on NPR the other day. I was like,
on Code Switch.
Yep, on Code Switch.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
True
on
story.
like on the NPR, show that talks about that
Yeah.
that talks about that stuff. Yeah, it was amazing. It's really wild. Yeah, yeah. It's cool, and I have so many friends who are like interested. I have had a couple of friends who I knew from New York City who are really interested in learning the game, and I finally like gamed with them. But it's so out there. Like people are interested and are hearing about it because it's kind of everywhere. And yeah, I don't know. I think what I said was like, welcome to this bizarre way to spend time with your friends. Like it's just bizarre. There's just nothing stranger. And if there was something more fun, I would do it. But I
would do it.
I haven't found it yet.
Yeah. I feel the same way. It's inescapable.
Yeah.
As a hobby.
No, I'm sorry. Go, Michael.
No, it's inescapable as a hobby. That's all.
Yeah. There's that scene from the Marvelous Miss Maisel where she's talking to another comedian, and she goes, "Do you love it?" And he kind of goes, like, "If I could do anything else, I would do it." And she said, "You love it?" And he kind of like shrugs. It's like, "Oh yeah, you love it." So, like, yeah, I love it, but man, it's weird. It's really weird.
Yes, it's weird.
Anyway, cool. I'm glad we got to chat. Has everybody gone? Have we done all the post stuff? Is it just smooth outro time?
Yeah, I think it's.
I think so.
Go.
Should we get everybody's? Do you get everybody's handles?
Yep.
Yeah,
we went around.
We went around. People will find us. Or,
Okay. I'm at Nerdy Pup Games.
Or we'll find you.
I was gonna say, but we could close out with Michael and his Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And Rebels of the Outlaw Wastes.
Nice.
Go find it. Get your stickers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Do it for the stickers.
For the stickers.
All right.
Sitting pretty at just under 8,000.
No, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good
18
stuff.
days to go.
And if you're funded, that means people will they'll bring you on your podcast now.
Yeah.
I have a rant about that, but
Yeah.
I'm not,
You don't have feelings about that or anything.
Yeah, no. You can get on the podcast now, though. So, you folks have a good Sunday night. We'll catch you in a week or so.
Yep.
This is our smooth outro.